Everything starts somewhere.
Welcome everybody to Southwest University Park.
For El Paso Locomotive, it started March 9th. From the first goal,
Looking to get loose, rolls it into the box and scoring!
to the biggest saves,
Here's the shot, tipped away by Ketterer. Logan Ketterer.
the train continued picking up steam and more locos along the way. Laying tracks throughout the league, the Locomotive found themselves not only competing, but winning.
First time, in it goes. Guess who? Jerome Kiesewetter to Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter in for the goal. Kiffing, nods the cross. Kiesewetter, another break.
But while riding the highest of highs, there were challenges along the way. With the hardships came opportunity.
Chapa was already mature as a man, and a man can step into an environment like this and be fine.
Chapa Herrera.
Good to see Memo Diaz get an opportunity.
And the team again found its stride. And when soccer became about more than the wins and losses, we all came together as family.
Becky. Salgado in for the goal.
Tonight we find ourselves a point away from playoffs. The engine is running at full 8 knots, and the team is primed to continue their journey. Put it simply, win, and we're in.
Welcome to Southwest University Park, another gorgeous evening for soccer in mid-October. Duke Heath with Michael Balogun for the last time in the regular season. And for Locomotive FC, we've seen it. It has been an epic journey since March. Can you believe this regular season goes on longer than Major League Soccer? It's amazing. But Mike, win or even get a point, and Locomotive assures itself of a spot in the playoffs in its first season of existence. For Timbers 2, slightly different. They must win, and they have to have help over their final 2 matches.
Yeah, absolutely. The Locomotive have done a great job to put themselves in this position over the course of the season. Obviously, had some bumps along the road. However, to be able to put themselves in a position where they need 1 point in the last 2 games is terrific. Portland, on the other hand, need to win tonight, and they need to win in their last game. So this is a really important game for both teams, so it's going to be great to see what kind of soccer is put out there on the field.
As for Locomotive FC, let's take a look at last Thursday night. This was the scene as Promise Isaac's jersey prominently displayed in the visitors' locker room as Austin Bold FC came to town. Their first match since the passing of Promise Isaac. First half fairly evenly matched. El Paso in the attack. Austin playing good defense. But in the 76th minute, Sebastian Velasquez converts a penalty kick to give El Paso the lead. It would be short-lived, though. Andre Lima on the long pass. What a beautiful ball. And he couldn't help but put it in the back of the net. And a nice moment for Promise Isaac as Lima brought out his teammate's jersey. Definitely a powerful moment, Mike.
Yeah, to see them honor their teammate in that manner and to see them raise his jersey meant a lot to those players, and you can tell that that was significant. That was something that they've talked about. That was something that he wanted to do, was to pay homage to Promise Isaac, and it was good to see that in that game.
Absolutely, but it would finish with a 1-1 draw as Locomotive FC now 1 point away. As we take a look at the Western Conference standings, of course, Phoenix Rising FC, what a season they've had. Just incredible, all the way at the top. Then you have Reno and Fresno, followed by Real, Orange County SC, Sacramento Republic FC, Austin Bold by virtue of the fact that they have one more win, and then Locomotive FC. It is right there for El Paso Locomotive if they can get a win, but anything from being out of the playoffs to being as high as 4th with some help is on the table for El Paso.
Yes, again, for them to be in this position with the bumps that they had along the road is really, really terrific. And you heard Coach Mark Lowry talk about that at the beginning of the season. This is going to be a journey. It's not just about the first game. It's how do we sustain this over the course of the year. And to them to be in this position is absolutely terrific.
Amazing. We'll do starting lineups next, right here. starting lineups right now. Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. Let's take a look at the Portland Timbers 2. Mic is on. Portland Timbers 2 starting lineups. As we take a look at this Portland Timbers 2 team, it is Michael, all teenagers on that bench for Portland Timbers 2, and they have brought it out over like the last, I would say, 4 or 5 matches. They have not won a whole lot over the last couple of months. For Locomotive FC, interesting, Omar Salgado getting the nod up front along with Jerome Kiesewetter and Josue Aron Gomez, a very offensive lineup for Mark Lowry.
Yeah, and you can tell Coach Mark Lowry is looking to come out and throw everything at Portland in this game. This is a very important game for them. They only need a tie to be into the playoffs. However, they're reaching for more than just a tie in this game.
As we are just about ready to go, our referee tonight is Sergei Demyanchuk, Matthew Rodman, Mark Novosel, and Marco Vega are the assistant referees and the 4th official, respectively. And we are underway. Portland Timbers 2. Of course, the USL Championship side for Major League Soccer's Portland Timbers. They play their matches at Providence Park as well. But 13th in the West, and they must win both of these last 2 matches, including the next one in Rio Grande Valley this weekend, in order to qualify for the playoffs. They also need help. For Locomotive, it's a little bit of an easier road, but Mark Lowry would certainly like to slam this team's way into the postseason.
Yeah, for Portland, they like you said, they definitely need a lot of help. They need to win their last 2 games. They need to make up a 7-goal differential between them and San Antonio in these next 2 games. So it's a really difficult task. However, it's one that's doable. It's one that's they have an outsider's chance of still making the playoffs. But for the Locomotive, it's a completely different story. If they tie one of their next 2 games, they're in. Now it's a matter of can they be in a better position than just being in? Can they put themselves in a position to really make a run in the playoffs?
And outside of the goaltenders or goalkeepers, you have Adrian Despay and Todd Wharton, both at the age of 25, along with Max Ornstill. Those are the 3 oldest players in this Timbers 2 lineup. Their entire bench, as we pointed out, made up of teenagers right now. So they are definitely bringing up the developmental academy guys to give them a shot at this end of the regular season.
From an outsider's perspective, it looks like they're not really looking at the playoffs as a real possibility. However, it's a great opportunity for these young guys to show what they can do. If they can make up the difference in the last 2 games, get this team into the playoff, that's great experience for them, and it's really showing, hey, I can do something at the next level.
Well, one of those starters is Giovanni Calixtro, age 19, but already 6 goals, 2 assists out of Cornelius, Oregon, an absolute stalwart, over 1,400 minutes. And he gets his 16th start of the season. Chased into touch, Nathan Smith. Quickly, Josue Aron Gomez on loan from FC Juarez Bravos. And it'll roll into touch on the other side as they try to switch it out to Salgado.
Good to see Jose Aron Gomez get the nod in this game, get the start. He's come on really strong late in the season, really showed his quality over the course of the years, trained well, has been a professional, and when his number was called, he was there to deliver and help the team in their rough spell of trying to find a goal and someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Jose Aron Gomez was there, and he was able to produce for the team, and Coach Mark Lowry is rewarding him with the start tonight.
Locomotive Press rewarding El Paso with the first corner kick of the match. In just the 4th minute, it'll be Ross taking the short corner. Velasquez on the back line. Velasquez scores! Seba Velasquez with his 3rd of the season, his first from the run of play. And Locomotive with the dream starts to this last home match of the regular season.
That's a great goal by Sebastian Velasquez. Great individual skill in the box to turn the defender, drive at towards the goal and get a shot off. Great individual skill. You see him staying up, not going down as he's getting tucked and tucking that ball away into the back of the net. Well done by Sebastian Velasquez.
4th minute to start things off, right off the corner. The short corner played by Ross. The rest was Seba Velasquez. Scored a couple of penalty kicks before that. And here come Locomotive again. Josue Aron Gomez giving chase. But first on the scene is Nathan Smith. And here comes Timbers too. Good work by Brian Hurtado. And he fouls. Brian Rebellon not called because El Paso Locomotive FC maintained possession or get possession.
I think the challenge for the Locomotive in this game is what to expect from Portland with all the youngsters and all the youth scouting and having an idea what they're going to do, how they're going to play is a little difficult because there's not a lot of film on these guys. However, the Locomotive have their experience, so they have to rely on that to solve some of the problems that Portland might present in this game.
Gomez outlets it, but it doesn't get far. Kept on by Todd Wharton, and the shot is wide. Wharton, one of those 25-year-olds, Richmond, Virginia native, and a national champion back in 2014 with the University of Virginia. Certainly Timbers too. As the long ball attempted, Kiesevetter's going to get a toe to that. Correction, yep, no, that's Kiesevetter. But defended well enough by Timbers too. It'll come back to Chiro and Toko, the team captain. Back to Logan Ketterer to spread them out. It looked like a hopeful long ball, but you never know with Jerome Kiesevetter lurking about.
It's a great ball over the top, looking to find Jerome Kiesevetter. We don't typically see Jerome Kiesevetter looking to run in behind, looking to break lines with his pace. However, you see him try to do it a second time there, and the ball wasn't there. However, it's something that Jerome Kiesevetter is capable of doing, even though we haven't seen a lot of it from him since he joined the team.
Todd Wharton trying to settle things down and keep some possession here for Timbers too. Hurtado. Marco Farfan, switch it back. Horn still. One of those on yellow card alert. As a matter of fact, next yellow card will be his 8th, which would mean he would be suspended for this weekend's match in Rio Grande Valley. Locomotive will get possession, and challenging is Salgado all the way to the back line, all the way to Gomez, and just up and over. A great thought by Gomez trying to chip it.
That's well done by Omar Salgado to take what the defender is giving him. He wants to come back to his favorite left foot. However, the defender is giving him the end line, and he does a great job to take it towards the end line and just put a ball into that dangerous area in front of the goalkeeper. Jose Aron Gomez unlucky not to get it into the back of the net. Great run by Omar Salgado. Unlucky from Jose Aron Gomez on the finish.
4th minute goal by Seba Velasquez. It was an investment by Mountain Star Sports Group and Mark Lowry, trying to bring some scoring punch into this Locomotive lineup. But he has certainly provided a spark in the time he has been a part of this El Paso team.
Absolutely, not just on the field, but also in the community. The amount that Sebastian Velasquez, how invested he is, how quickly he adapted to the area, to the team, to the community has been absolutely terrific. I was watching him earlier this week in training, and I shot one of my friends who's one of our mutual friends a text, and I was like, he is unbelievable. It was an absolute joy to watch him train, how he trains, just the joy and how quick he moves on the field was absolutely terrific.
Todd Wharton looks to take a short corner here. He'll get it to Harold Hansen. Hansen, one nice move, but as he slips by Velasquez, Nick Ross is there to put it into touch. Velasquez, almost from the moment he touched down in the Sun City, has been an absolute fan favorite, and we see why. Knotted out by Fox. Kiesewetter. Velasquez trying to skip it out of trouble. Here's Kiffey. Good to double back into Velasquez again. Locomotive do enjoy playing from the back. Teams try to pressure, but this is a team that does not lose its cool easily. Partly because of the amount of experience they have in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you have players that are just technically gifted, players that are comfortable on the ball, and the likes of Sebastian Velasquez, the likes of James Kiffey, Nick Ross, Yuma, the likes of Richie Ryan, it makes it easier for you to play out. It brings a sense of calmness when you're trying to play that way.
Locomotive FC, as things stand right now, assure themselves of a spot in the playoffs. They lead 1-0. It's the very early going. Lots of time to play. But you could not ask for a better start if you're Mark Lowry. And Velasquez scoring in the 4th minute.
He's got to be pretty pleased with the start of this game. However, one thing I'm sure he's thinking, if there's plenty of time left in this game, there's close to 80 minutes left in this game. It's not just about the first 10 minutes, very similar to what he said at the beginning of the year. It's not just about the first game, it's about the entire season. That's the message he's going to be telling the players on the bench, his staff, is we've got to play a full 90 minutes. We've got to see out the remaining 80 minutes of this game.
Velasquez will receive that. 1 against 2, and good work by Max Ornstill to clear some room. And here is Calixtro, Giovanni Calixtro, 19 years old. As we say, his 16th start and over 1,400 minutes logged for Timbers 2. 6 goals, 2 assists on the season for the young man from Cornelius, Oregon. And you look at the homegrown players, there are a lot of Oregonians on this roster. And that'll be a foul on Yuma.
Looks like he's going to get a card from the referee. Just a late tackle there. He's catching a defender on the ankle. Not really getting much of the ball, and that's why the referee's going into his pocket.
Brian Hurtado still trying to shake it off a bit, and the caution is issued in the 12th minute. Well, the plot thickens in the very early going. But I think that is the right call. 13th minute, caution issued to Yuma. You're going to go into a challenge 2-footed. And a free kick in a precarious spot. This looks like Wharton. 5 goals in the season. Also back there. Kobayashi, who seems like he's ready to take the kick. He'll leave off for Wharton. In-swinger. Chipped back out. Not quite out of trouble. Wharton settles it. Stepping over. And a corner kick. Intervening at the last was the team captain, Chiro Ntoko.
That's well done by Jerome Togo to come over and provide support for Sebastian Velasquez. I'm sorry.
They'll take the quick corner again. Far post, trying to get a leg in there is Ornstill. Paso's defense does its job, trying to swing that back in is Smith, but right in front of it. Good job by Josue Aron Gomez. And it comes. Ketter at a challenge. Chiro taking down Horn still. Away from the ball. And Timbers 2. With a nice spell over the last couple of minutes. Almost stolen away by Ross. Kiesewetter gets a leg in. But Nispe keeps it in possession for Timbers 2.
See how tight and compact the Locomotive are in. Really sitting deep, absorbing the pressure.
It's the long switch. It'll be knotted into touch by Rebellon. And into touch for El Paso. Kiesewetter and Marco Farfan tangling a little bit, and I guess it was a little too far advanced. Mark Lowry says, yeah, it's an El Paso throw-in. Indeed, it turns out to be, but we're just now getting to the point where we throw the ball back into play. He's got the sweater back too. There for a while he was wearing that well into the 90-degree range. Good switch to Gomez, who gets spilled. That is an excellent slide by Nathan Smith in the back. Nothing comes of it though. Locomotive content to possess and stretch. Andrew Fox back to the team captain, Chiro Wantoko. A long career in the pros, but a couple of matches ago scoring his just his 16th professional goal. How about that? Kiesewetter earning the foul. Certainly for Cameron Knowles and Timbers 2, it is a little bit different a proposition when you're talking about a squad that is mainly developmental for the top level and Portland Timbers of Major League Soccer. What Merritt Paulson and that gang have built since they got into the league, what was it, 2011, I think, has been nothing short of one of the best top to bottom organizations in all of professional soccer in North America. And now with the redone Providence Park, just an absolutely gorgeous soccer facility made from the old baseball stadium that used to house the Portland Beavers, which incidentally became the El Paso Chihuahuas, whose home this is before Locomotive FC showed up.
That'd be a fun factor for a trivia night.
Indeed.
Wonder how many El Pasoans know that.
And you wonder how many professional baseball teams have been forced to make way for a professional soccer franchise in North America. There's one. Chiro, the long switch. James Kiffey will take it in. Stays on his feet. Here's Kiffey lining one up, and it's deflected. Cleared away. Ross to keep it moving for El Paso. And a foul.
A good attempt by James Kiffey.
Sergei Domyanchuk, our referee, has already had to go to the pocket, dealing a yellow to Yuma in the 13th. With the 4th minute goal by Sebastian Velasquez. the difference so far. And how crazy is the Western Conference that the Locomotive in its first season could finish anywhere from 4th to possibly being out of the playoffs if things don't continue to go well tonight.
Shows you how tight contested it is and the quality of the teams in the Western Conference. Outside of Phoenix, everything else was fairly close up and down the table. So it's good to see that Locomotive in their first year, in their inaugural year, are able to contend and able to compete with a lot of the established teams in the conference.
Good work on Calixtro by the veteran Chiro and Toko. Originally from Kinshasa, Zaire, but calls Belgium his home now. Played extensively in Eastern Europe before coming to El Paso, and he certainly seemed to have taken to the desert Southwest from the very beginning. Eighth Notch invented a song about him, and that was like straight out of the gate.
He's definitely one of the more quieter guys on the team. He's the ultimate professional. He's played all over the world, so he clocks in, clocks out, takes care of business.
You have to have guys like that. Out to Andy Fox, who's his own interesting story. At center back, he's played up top, on the wings, everywhere Mark Lowry has needed a body. Andrew Fox has been that body. Good interchange, Velasquez and Kiffy. Perfectly happy to air things out. Here's Fox. A little too far ahead, looking for Gomez for the payoff up the left wing.
That's a really good idea from Andrew Fox. And you've seen the Locomotive look to play that early ball over the top or in behind the back line of Portland 2. They're sensing that the Portland 2 back line is stepping a little bit higher, and it's a bit higher than normal, than what they normally see. So they're looking to exploit that and get in behind a little bit quicker. And you've seen Jerome Kiesewetter make a couple of runs in behind, and that time it was Jose Aron Gomez looking to get in behind.
Fox as the ball settles. Ross trying to move forward is Gomez. Kiffy. Kiesewetter flashes back for the ball, but it'll bounce Portland's way. Of course, Timbers' 2 backup keeper is Charlie Lyon. One of the more interesting stories in the USL and MLS. We'll get to that in a bit, but right now Gomez, Velasquez to the byline, crosses one, and Kiesewetter in front of net could not put it home. Well, that is a rare miss, but really kind of a hard angle to solve, perhaps, with the way the ball kind of broke for Jerome Kiesewetter.
That's an absolutely terrific ball from Sebastian Velasquez, and you see Jerome Kiesewetter trying to just redirect it into the back of the net. He just gets too much on the ball. Sebastian Velasquez has done the majority of the work. He just has to just get a touch and get it onto the frame of goal, and he scores there. Unfortunate not to make it 2-0 in this game.
And how about this work? Sebastian Velasquez with him stride for stride, though. Well done by Adrian Dispe. It'll be a throw-in for El Paso as Dispe makes sure he rides Velasquez to put that ball into touch. But Jerome Kiesewetter, it's almost, you could put your knee out there, you could put your hip, your backside, any kind of contact, it's going to go in. How about Ross? Nick Ross rolls one home. It's 2-0 in the 24th minute.
Again, it's that run that we talked about, the run in behind the back line of Portland 2. This time it's coming from a throw-in. and you see Nick Ross just gets in behind and has all he has to do, does a great job to put his body between the ball and the player, and all he has to do is get his head up and find the back of the net. That's a great throw-in and a great finish from Nick Ross.
The Scotsman making it 2-0 in the 24th minute. What a first half for Locomotive FC. Certainly has the Locomotive bench breathing a little easier. Still so far away from the finish line tonight, though. Couldn't ask for a better start.
Absolutely.
Jeffie.
You feel Mark Lowry's going to be urgent.
Up, giving up. Hurtado has to back his way out, and he's fronted now by Rebellon. He'll elect to go backward with it. Horn still. Low driving cross, touched away, but it's set up and a score. Too dangerous in putting it home is Zach Kobayashi. Draws one back in the 25th minute for Timbers 2.
Very similar to after that first goal. There's so much time left in this game, and I'm sure after that second goal, Coach Mark Lowry was excited about being 2-0 up, but recognizing there's still a lot of time left in this game, and we see what Portland is capable of doing because there's so much time left in this game.
First goal of the season for Zachary Kobayashi. Coming right after Nick Ross's second of the season by a minute. There's a long pass. Looking for Gomez, why not? Timbers 2 though on the run. Sierakowski. Easily picked up by Ketterer. Ketterer tied for third in the league with 12 clean sheets in the season. He will not get a 13th to tie Zach Lubin. And Matt Pickens of Nashville. Of course, Lubin with Phoenix Rising FC has just had, along with his teammates, the most incredible season of any team in the USL Championship.
Absolutely. I thought they were never going to lose a game.
Which I think you and the rest of the league.
They were in such fine form. They were playing great soccer.
Locomotive FC. How about Velasquez? What a touch. And gets thrown down. And a quick restart. Salgado in behind the defense. Salgado will try his luck. Turned aside by Marco Farfan.
A good heads-up play by Yuma, finding a wide-open Omar Salgado on a quick restart. I think Omar just had way too much time to know what to do. Do I wait for my teammates? Do I go to goal on my own?
Nick Ross will see this one out for a corner. Nope, it'll be a goal kick. Last touched, they say, by Kobayashi. Ross saw that and escorted it over the byline. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world since 1947. Select, the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Kiesewetter. He's had to range out of that target 9 spot to find his touches a little more over the last few matches, but still, the difference between his 12 goals and Edson Partidas and Josue Gomez's 4 goals is the largest gap between the top goal scorer and second leading goal scorers of any team in the USL Championship. The Locomotive, though, has been finding different guys to help get that thing done.
Absolutely. And I think it hurts him and the team a little bit when he's drawn out of those central areas, when he's coming underneath a bit more to be involved in the build-up. he's a typical number 9. When I think of a typical number 9, the names that pop into my head are Ruud van Nistelrooy, guys that they're not bothered about the build-up. All they want is put the ball inside the box, let me go get after it, and put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I think of when I think of Jerome Kiesewetter. That's the kind of player he is, a player that just wants to score and shouldn't really worry too much about the build-up and coming underneath to get the ball.
Jeffie takes an awkward slide, getting tangled a bit, it looks like, with Kobayashi. A little closer to home, you think of Chicharito.
Absolutely.
The guy he may not touch the ball for 95% of the game, but he's absolutely the man you want in the box. When you've got an open cross to somebody, he will put it away.
And then it's that clinical, that ability to finish inside the box that's so crucial. It's why they're paid the big bucks.
Kiesewetter. Left a lot of room for Andy Fox, who's still forward. But here is Portland Timbers 2, Brian Hurtado. Native of Venezuela, Puerto Ordaz. Joining T2 on loan from Mineros de Guayana. Little tangle, out it comes. Nifty back heel looking for Calixto. To no avail, Sierakowski. And on the run is Velasquez. Can he keep him out distance? They'll slide it over to Kiesewetter, who leaves it in behind for Gomez, who gets taken off the ball. It'll be in touch. Nope, kept on by Salgado, and now rolled into touch. Well, what a break. Velasquez, I think, being generous, but maybe a little bit behind where Jerome Kiesewetter was looking for that service.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Sebastian Velasquez didn't go to goal himself there. I think I've already have won this game. Can I get my teammates involved? As an attacking mid, that's part of his job. Can I get other players involved? Can I feed other players? And I think that's what he was trying to do on that play, and not going to goal himself.
Velasquez with it back again. Velasquez to that left foot, trying for the top shelf. Scooped it up and over the crossbar. But with that last sequence, I would think that Mark Lowry would tell him in the locker room at halftime, just be greedy. Go ahead, go get yours.
Absolutely, and he's such a nice person off the field, and you see it come into play there. That's on the field. We don't need you to be nice. Off the field, you can be the nicest person in the world, and I'm sure that's going to be the message from Coach Mark Lowry at halftime is, hey, I need you to be a little more ruthless and a little bit more brutal inside the box and in those situations there.
Well, Locomotive FC have found their ways through to attack offensively in the first half. This may be, I believe it's the first time they've scored 2 in the first half all season. I'll have to look that up. It's been a long regular season. Talk about it, though. This is what happens with 36 teams in the USL Championship, and you play everybody in your conference twice. 18 teams on either side, East and West, with more coming. USL Championship, of course, signing a new deal with ESPN. They'll be on the worldwide leader through 2021. And into 2022. What Jake Edwards and gang have built with the USL Championship has been wonderful. Timbers 2 trying for something wonderful in the box here. Taken down as Calixto. A little too much dangling, and that allowed the white jerseys to get in. And Velasquez fouled as he was trying to control. Todd Wharton sticks a leg in.
You see Portland 2 really doing a good job of finding those pockets in the blocks of the Locomotive. That 3-5-2 setup that they're in offensively is really giving Locomotive some trouble. But on the defensive side, for the Portland Timbers. They're very exposed 1v1 in the back line against the front three of the Locomotive in Jerome Quisevere, Jose Aron Gomez, and Omar Salgado. So it's going to be a...
That is Jerome Quisevere getting taken down in the back. But first to the ball, Portland Timbers 2. Lyon, says Mr. Demjanchuk. Turnabout is fair play on this bay, taken away. Velasquez, Quisevere rolled and up and over the crossbar. He gets more service and he is unhappy with himself. 2 misses. That one is a little further out. The former U.S. men's international has not had the best run of matches as of late.
And they've got to start converting those opportunities. That's the second time they've pickpocketed Adrian Despy, and they have to put those into the back of the net. They can't win the ball off the last defender for Portland too, and not punish them, and not create a chance, or not force the goalkeeper into a save. That's the second time that that's happened, and they have to test the goalkeeper and make the goalkeeper make a save or put the ball into the back of the net.
Shaking things off is Todd Wharton. How much, though, does that play as it seems we have a little bit of an injury timeout and everybody just decided to go get a drink of water. How much does that play into a goal scorer's head when things start not going your way? It's almost like golfers talk about having the yips.
Yeah, absolutely. However, for the likes of Jerome Quisevere, he understands I might miss.
How about this shot just wide up and over? Apologies. Had to get Nathan Smith, or rather Harold Hansen, in there. Hansen with a nice move up near the halfway line. Goes right by and decides to try one from long range. That is touched by Locomotive for a Portland Timbers 2 corner. Here is Wharton. Slow roller. Top of the box lifted out by Salgado, turning, putting it back, but fended away as Nathan Smith, and that one will go over for a goal kick. We're just talking about Quisevere. The mentality you've got to imagine is that, you know, you almost have to score one to kind of get back in the swing.
Yeah.
Not that he's going to stop taking his cracks at things, but you know, he wants that payoff, certainly.
But he's such a pro. He understands that he might miss nine in a row. However, on that 10th one, he might be when it happens for him. So he's got to continue to shoot. That's why he's on 12 goals, and he understands how important he is to the team and how important his 12 goals have been for the Locomotive this year. So he's not going to stop shooting or stop taking his chances just because he's missed a couple, or he shouldn't at least.
He hasn't tonight, certainly. Sierakowski whistled for the foul. Another one of the younger players in this Timbers 2 lineup, 22 years of age. He's a grizzled veteran compared to the rest of his teammates right now. 23rd pick of the Super Draft this January. 4-year starter at Michigan State. They've got some decorated young men. As a part of the developmental academy, as a part of Timbers 2. Certainly you talk about that pipeline in Portland. They have it working. Farfan will switch it all the way back. Back to the left, looking for Khalid's throw, and it is a Timbers 2 throw. Rebellon, hoping nobody was watching, and put that ball into touch. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs at all levels across the United Soccer League to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States. That includes the USL Academy Cup. For more information visit uslsoccer.com/academy. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but here's Josue Aron Gomez, something of a hot foot, courtesy of Nathan Smith. Let's see what transpires off the throw-in, which will be taken by James Kiffey. Longtime servant of that outstanding Sacramento Republic lineup is Velasquez taken down. Still seems to be in a little bit of discomfort, and Rebellon will roll the ball out for them to be able to take a look at Seve Velasquez. When in doubt, retie the shoe. Well, that gives us an opportunity to talk about the Developmental Academy, because for the first time ever, Locomotive FC was a part of this kind of an all-star lineup. Locomotive FC still trying to form a team for the youth academies. I know you're a part of that along with Bob Bigney. And some pretty solid results after a good first half of the first match. Things kind of got away in the second half, but it was solid afterward for the 3 matches they played in the Alamo City this weekend.
Yeah, it's good to see the team get rewarded for all the work and that they've put in over the last few months. Obviously, when you're putting together sort of an all-star group of sorts and you're not able to train regularly, to be able to go down and play against competitions and teams that do train regularly and be able to get some results is really, really impressive. So big kudos to the group, to the players and the staff that worked so hard to prepare for USL Academy event in San Antonio this past weekend, and it's terrific for them to win 2 out of their 3 games and to play well and not just win, but play well over the course of those 3 games.
Well done. Inclement weather, a late start, I think, in that first match. They led 1-0 at halftime, according to Bob Bigney, but things got away from them in the second half. Much better against Tulsa and a team from Ventura County, California afterward. And I guess this entry level of the Academy Cup is kind of to seed teams over the course of the winter and on into spring, where they'll all gather in Florida should Locomotive qualify in May for the championship. Long pass up the way from Ross. Crossing and just missing Omar Salgado from the right side's Rebellon.
The great ball from Brian Rebellon. A terrific run up the right side of the field. A great first-time ball into a dangerous area. Just misses Omar Salgado out by a couple of inches, and Jerome Kiesevet unable to control it at the back post to put it back towards the goal.
Seemed like it jumped up on him just a touch. Here is Salgado trying to make a turn. He'll take it to the left foot and push it over. Very dangerous left foot for the former #1 overall pick of the MLS draft in 2011. Chosen first by the Vancouver Whitecaps, as we pointed out. The only El Pasoan in any sport to ever be taken first in anybody's draft. First player signed by this team before it even had a name, before it even had a coach. But when you have somebody who was as highly decorated at the youth international levels, and of course made his way around Liga MX for a while, Tigres started with the Chivas Youth Academy. You signed that player.
Absolutely, so much talent at a young age, and talking to Coach Mark Lowry, you can tell he's just looking to get the best out of Omar. Obviously, he didn't really feel like he really got the most out of his time in Vancouver would have liked to have produced and been involved a bit more. I think it is, however, it feels like this is opportunity to really showcase all the potential that he has, and that's Coach Mark Lowry's job, is to pull it out of him.
Off the bench over the last few matches as Nathan Smith tries a long one up the right wing. It's Hansen. He's going to get there, and it's going to be put over the back line for another corner. Harold Hansen showing us the wheels. 5'9" from Ontario, California, just 20 years of age. That one's intercepted by Velasquez, a little bit of a slow roller from Morton. He'll lift it out of trouble for the time being. Farfan. Timbers 2 looking for the equalizer. As we head to the 45th minute. We are hearing there will be 1 minute of stoppage time. It has been a pretty end-to-end match. Really, only partial stoppages for Cedric Velasquez's injury. Here's Wharton. Dispay trying to keep it in place. Kobayashi, he did not. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL excited to announce the championship and League One remain with the worldwide leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 matches a year featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Such a huge deal for the United Soccer League to be regularly seen on the worldwide leader. Of course, with more and more people unplugging, good work by Toko to clear that out. We are into our 1 minute of stoppage time. Velasquez slips and falls. It's a loose ball. Salgado, I think a little late to see it. Farfan just in the nick of time there to put it back to Jacob Leaker in goal tonight for Timbers 2. Fox tries one. It bounces nicely though for Sierakowski. Kobayashi turned up and in. Tap to the far post, and it's denied wide. Logan Ketterer along with Yuma, and it's a goal kick. Todd Wharton just swung and missed, and that's it. First it was Ross. Kobayashi, dangerous. Wharton cleared off the line by Yuma. And that is it for the half. Gets it touched off of Wharton, and that will end a 3-goal first 45 minutes here in El Paso, Southwest University Park. Well, we've got a little bit more in store for you, including first half highlights. There were a few, and we'll get to all of that when we continue. You're watching Locomotive FC and Timbers 2, last home match of the regular season from El Paso.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. At halftime, the score is El Paso Locomotive 2, Portland Timbers 1. This season has had plenty of excitement. Tonight we look at some of the best goals from 2019, including an Edson Partida bicycle kick that was #1 on SportsCenter. Great individual.
Loose, rolls it into the box and scoring! The tie goal by Gebhardt. Zen stays on his feet to Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter in for the goal! Send it in, Jerome! Will keep it, rolls it to space for Salgado. Omar Salgado rolls one and in! Salgado scores in front of his hometown team.
We have a game. That's a great cross from James Kiffey, finding Jose Aron Gomez in there.
Salgado crossing, the one-time in! Alexi Bassetti, welcome to El Paso!
Bassetti with his right foot. Headed down, here's a cleanup shot by Rebellon, and it's drilled into the net. And it's 1-1, a breakdown in the back.
In the middle, Partida whips one in! Partida with a brace! Locomotive FC! Looking like they are going to get win #1. Back off the line, Becky. Salgado in for the goal! A man down, the hometown hero on El Paso strong night, Omar Salgado. Far post, Partida puts it in! What a goal! Edson Partida!
Currently, the score at Southwest University Park is El Paso Locomotive 2, Portland Timbers 1. We'll be back.
Muhammad over, Gomez there. Gomez on to Bermudez. Bermudez puts it home. And Greenville scored. Pepe going for goal. He's given North Texas the moment.
What this club is trying to do is offer a real sense of community.
But it's all about the process. Make sure you're doing the little things right. We have a really strong locker room, and everybody really wants to do well for the club.
Good afternoon, faithful. This is a big day. This is a big deal for us. This is a win for the community.
You know, we've been averaging, between, I would say, 10 and 12,000 a game.
And it is a loud, boisterous 10,000, 12,000, and they love us, and we love them just as much. I mean, it's a reciprocal relationship at all times.
We never thought that we would grow this fast.
I have to pinch myself because, it sometimes seems too good to be true, but it's not. It's been pretty unbelievable, and it's been done better than I ever could have dreamt of, to be honest.
This is a club for New Mexico, by New Mexicans.
And I don't think that we're done yet. It's just getting started.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Our score, Locomotive FC on top 2-1. It could be 5-2. It could be 3-3. Lots of different things for both teams perhaps to clean up in the second half, but let's take a look first at scores from around the rest of the league in the USL Championship from this last weekend. And here you have it. Ottawa Fury, Bethlehem Steel, a 1-1 draw in Ottawa. Louisville City. How about this to wrap up the season off in the East? 8-3, the two-time defending champions of the USL Championship all over Swope Park Rangers as they are just about ready to move into a new facility in Louisville, Kentucky as well. Closing things out there in style, Tampa Bay Rowdies and Indy 11. That is a heavyweight battle in a 1-1 draw in Tampa, Florida. Memphis 901 FC losing at home to Charlotte Independence 2-1. Pittsburgh Riverhounds winning on the road, beating St. Louis FC in St. Louis Mo 1-0. And Nashville SC at home, a 2-0 win over North Carolina FC. And that sets up the USL Championship standings as follows as we take a look at things. Around the Western Conference especially, Phoenix Rising FC, no one catching them. But as we pointed out, Reno 1868 FC and Fresno FC right there, battling 57 points apiece, and Reno has supplanted Fresno in second place. Real Monarchs SLC in fourth, Orange County with fifth and 51 points. Sacramento Republic in sixth, followed by Austin Bold by virtue of that one more win than El Paso Locomotive FC. They've got the seventh spot. Locomotive, if they go on to win, could supplant them there. Locomotive FC, depending on how the rest of this match goes this evening, could assure themselves of a playoff spot with help finish as high as fourth, or if they lose, drop out of the playoff picture entirely. That's how nuts the Western Conference is right now. As we take a look at some of the storylines from the rest of the USL Championship, and we'll start right here in El Paso, Texas. Brian Rebellon, nominated for the Mid-Season Defender of the Year award. He is up for the End-of-Season Defender of the Year award. One of three finalists, and you can vote for him at uslchampionship.com. Brian Rebellon, certainly a worthy finalist for this great award in all of the USL Championship. To be one of the three finalists in a 36-team league says something for Rebellon. Locomotive U17 squad, as we pointed out earlier in the first half, winning 2 out of 3, winners of 2 of 3 in the USL Academy Western Conference matches in San Antonio. And don't forget, playoff tickets are on sale now. Purchase at the Southwest University box offices or at El Paso Locomotive FC, eplocomotivefc.com. As we take a look at first half statistics here in El Paso, Texas. A 2-1 lead for Locomotive FC. 11 shots to Timbers 2-7. It has been a bit back and forth. Shots on target, 3 for Locomotive, 2 for Timbers 2. The block shots, the same. And the passing accuracy. Timbers 2 a little bit better and more accurate with the ball. They have certainly had a bit more of the run, maybe in the latter stages of the first half, 84% to Locomotive's 80%. And possession, interestingly, Timbers 2 with 56% of the ball to Locomotive's 44%. That is kind of an amazing stat, Michael.
Yeah, and that's unusual to see the Locomotive get dominated in the possession aspect of the game. However, kind of like we talked about in the first half, with such a young squad that Portland has brought in tonight, it's a team that the Locomotive couldn't really scout for, couldn't really prepare for, because it's a lot of players that they are not used to. So that might have something to do with the possession. However, I expect the Locomotive to come out strong, aggressive, put them under a little bit of pressure, and finish their chances. That's going to be key in the second half. Absolutely
key, as they'll fire into the Section 105 end, the 8th notch end here in half number 2. We'll come back and take a look at some of the highlights and plenty more. Second half action underway shortly here from El Paso, Texas. A beautiful evening for the final regular season home match of the year. Michael and I will return after this. Welcome back to El Paso, Texas, Southwest University Park. Locomotive FC 2-1. They lead Portland Timbers 2 at the half, getting ready for the second half. But first, let's take a look at the first half highlights, and it began early, like 4th minute early. Seba Velasquez, beautiful effort off the short corner to put one in with the left foot, and Locomotive was off to the races early. Trying to get Jerome Kiesewetter back in his goal-scoring swing. Beautiful cross. And it's touched over the bar. Kiesewetter trying to sky one. Any contact would put it in. It didn't happen. But Nick Ross flashing out of the midfield and rolls one near post in for a 2-0 Locomotive lead. That's in the 24th. That shutout would be short-lived, though. After a little bounce around, it bounces straight to Kobayashi, scoring his first for Timbers 2 in the 25th. Exactly 1 minute after Nick Ross put in his, and Zach Kobayashi has Timbers 2 back into this game. One more, though, for Jerome Kiesewetter. Good setup by Josue Aron Gomez. But Jerome Kiesewetter looking to get the ball in the back of the net. I am sure getting him untracked and the rest of this Locomotive offense really untracked is going to be key in half number 2, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. I anticipate that in the locker room that Coach Mark Lowry talked about them putting their chances away. They've had several chances, and they've got to put those chances away in the second half. The second thing is they've got to deal with the attacking mids of Portland, too. Those players are getting in behind the outside back as the outside backs are stepping to the wingers for Portland 2. So they've got to figure out a way to deal with the attacking mids of Portland 2. And then lastly, can they put a little bit of pressure on Portland 2 in their build-up? Portland 2 has way too much time, and that's dictated how much possession. And we've seen Portland dominate possession, something we haven't seen the Locomotive really struggle with so far this season. So those three things, I think if the Locomotive can do a better job with that in the second half, they'll come out of this game with the win.
As we were saying earlier, I mean, it could legitimately be 4-1, 4-0, 3-3. It could be all of that, and I think just a little bit that Mark Lowry would like his team to clean up. James Jeffie doing some work. Scoops it into Gomez, but there on it is Wharton. Harold Hansen plays it back looking for Wharton, but it'll be out for a throw. Back and underway. Eighth Notch providing the soundtrack. Here is Sebastian Velasquez. Nifty to Kiesewetter. Dealt with and put in touch by Nathan Smith. But Locomotive attacking on that left side early. Throw in for Timbers 2. Don't forget, fans, tune into ESPN3 Saturday, October the 19th. A special game of the week to close out the 2019 season. Home playoff match at stake. Real Monarchs SLC versus Sacramento Republic FC. The winner hosting a playoff match, the loser potentially to the play-in game. All of that drama Saturday on ESPN3. Gomez, hard to get off the ball, including that man, Velasquez. Nice to Kiffy. That one's deflected. Good work by Smith. Yuma dealt with well in the middle by Calixtro. And here comes Timbers 2, Hurtado. Put by Wharton. Up the left wing side, Sierakowski. Wharton takes one, and it's smacked straight out for a waiting Harold Hansen. And that's deflected all the way back up to the midfield range. So far, you've got to think that Cameron Knowles likes what he sees from his Timbers 2 lineup here tonight.
Absolutely a brave setup and coming out in the 3-5-2 and really defending 1v1 against the front three of the Locomotive, but it's worked out. I don't know how much it's worked out so far, but to be down 2-1 with a chance to clean some things up, he's got to be pretty pleased.
Hurtado has to handle on it, but able to control Sierakowski. Back into the middle, Orange still. And here's Nathan Smith, crosses. Smacked back out, good work by Rebellon, and here is Salgado. Omar Salgado eating up space. Waiting to spring that last pass. He's going to take it himself and gets tripped up. And no call. Taken off the play by Orange still. Wanted to take a little wider and denied the opportunity. Kobayashi. First goal of the season in the 25th minute to get T2 back into this match. Here's Hansen. We pointed out only 20 years old, but man, has that guy got some speed. There's Ross, Locomotive FC, trying to play it up and out of trouble with the head of Salgado. Marco Farfan, another Oregonian, just 20 years of age. Gresham, Oregon is where he hails from, homegrown signing. Yuma will play it back to Ketterer. Can't handle. Blasted up the left wing side by Andy Fox. And Locomotive will give the possession back to Timbers 2. Rebellon, Yuma. Well done by the Colombian and the Spaniard, and it's just lost. Hurtado with the throw-in. Interesting talking about Marco Farfan, homegrown signing in 2016. He signed with the team at the age of 16. He was at the time the youngest homegrown player signed by Portland Timbers. After joining Timbers Developmental Academy in 2013. A little bit of a discussion as to who's doing what. It is a throw-in for Timbers 2. Well met by Rebellon, and it will bounce nicely. Oh, Gomez. Josue Aron Gomez to the far post and wide.
That's a great opportunity for Jose Aron Gomez. Doing a great job just to get a touch by the defender. Then just misses the shot by inches wide.
Legitimately, Locomotive could have 5 goals by this point. That's not the easiest of shots to make, certainly. But it's almost. Almost snake-bit as Kiesewetter will draw contact and a foul. Calistro pleading his case with the referee's assistant. Kind of leans in there as you see the replay. Shirt pulling as well.
I think it was more for the shirt tug. There's an opportunity for Locomotive to deliver a good service into the box and extend this lead.
It's a little far out, but always a dangerous angle. Kiffy. Right into the middle. Right off of Hansen. Ross trying to control. Velasquez was run over by Hurtado. Rebellon first on the scene. Up the right wing side. Kiesewetter onside. Kiesewetter will roll one. In for the touch and the save off the post. Omar Salgado Undone by Jacob Leaker. Just got a fingertip to it. What a save by Leaker.
He's definitely going over it when he gets a chance to kiss that post. Unlucky by Omar Salgado, does everything right to redirect this ball towards that back post just a bit too much, and it hits the post and comes back out.
But how about that ball from Jerome Kiesewetter? My goodness. Salgado could not have asked for better service. That was just a great save by Leaker. Gets the fans into it. They're liking what they see to start this second half. There goes Hansen to the byline. Handled by Logan Ketterer. Of course, Ketterer, hailing from Madison, Wisconsin, part of the Columbus Crew organization for a few years. Hard to get your opportunities if you're playing behind Zach Steffen, who these days is with Fortuna Düsseldorf in the Bundesliga. Let's take a look at this Omar Salgado attempt one more time from goal camp. And there you see the touch. Great work by Leaker to get out there, and he got just enough of that ball to pop it off the far post. That, though, was the result of a beautifully weighted Jerome Kiesewetter pass. Portland throw in. They wanted to go quickly, but Felix threw too far up the pitch. Farfan. Smith. Intercepted. Well done by Ross. Nick Ross flashes out at the most important times, rolled in. Gomez trying up the middle for Kiesewetter. Well handled by Timbers too. Dispe gets a piece, I believe. Hurtado the other way. Bumped off by Rebellon. Hurtado gets the cross, far post, and lifted out for a corner kick by James Kiffey.
Just over 11 minutes into the second half, and the youngsters from Portland 2s are not laying down. We talked about the Locomotive coming out in the second half and putting their chances away. The longer Portland 2 hangs around, the more confidence they gain from it.
Hansen, Knowles to the far post. Rebellon will let that one dummy over the back line. Great work by the Colombian. Again, up for Defender of the Year. You can vote for Brian Rebellon at USLChampionship.com. And in a 36-team league, you think about all the guys who play the defender spot, who play on that back line. So how about this one? Chugging right up the field. It's Gomez, turned aside again by Leaker. He is finding some joy up that left wing, I think it's safe to say.
He's got to be thinking, what more do I need to do to get the ball past this keeper?
He'll chip one in, and it will be Kiffey, and trying to get it back to Salgado. Put it a touch by Dispe.
Jacob Leaker is having the night of his life. Some fantastic saves.
Two huge ones, certainly. Throw in for Locomotive, back to Seve Velasquez. Ross will switch it. Loose of Intoko. Controlled by Rebellon, and earns the contact and the foul from Hurtado. Neither of these teams gives up a ton of fouls. Timbers 2, they've won 457 fouls coming in, conceded under 400. For Locomotive, much the same. 487 won, 355 conceded. But it is Locomotive sitting in the catbird seat right now. Again, Gomez up the left wing side. Gets his pocket pick by Nate Smith. Great work by Smith. 24-year-old from Clovis, California. Off of Hansen in touch. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. Excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the worldwide leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus, the home of all things USL. 19 games a year featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Love me some ESPN Plus, by the way. Great digital content, also kind of gets you, I think, I believe some of the insider content. And games, soccer matches, all over the place. From all over the world.
Yeah, it's great. At least for me, being able to catch up with my alma mater and watch them play.
The Zips. How are the Akron Zips doing? Speaking of Cameron Knowles. Himself a former Major League Soccer veteran and an Akron Zip. Caleb Porter family tree runs right through my our broadcast booth to my partner, Mr. Balogun. Did you play with Cameron Knowles?
I did not.
Long pass. Kiesewetter trying to get there. How about off his line, Jacob Leaker? He's 30 yards up the field.
He's had to do it all tonight, whether with his hands, his feet. He's been called upon several times, and he's definitely stepped up.
Leaker, 24-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri, one of the great soccer cities in the United States, and getting its own Major League Soccer franchise in a couple of years. First MLS side, actually, I think one of the first professional sports organizations in America to be majority owned by females. Good cross. Onside to Gomez, who cannot keep control. And Smith is there to clear it out. Good sidestep by Horton. Trying to sidestep is Hurtado. Run back by Rebellon, who commits the foul. Speaking of ESPN, and ESPN Plus, ESPN 3, Saturday, October the 19th will be the last of the regular season. As there you see Rebellon. Leaves it in on Hurtado. Hansen. Gets that one rolled to Ketterer. Nobody in the vicinity. October the 19th is going to wrap up the ESPN Game of the Week. And it's a big one in the West. Real Salt Lake, Real Monarchs, I should say, hosting Sacramento Republic FC. The winner hosts a playoff match. Loser potentially goes to the play-in round. 7 through 10 if Locomotive FC cannot finish things out the way they want, but do get into the playoffs, would play basically a week from tomorrow in the play-in round. Not something that Mark Lowry wants to do.
Definitely not. The longer you can stay and get rest, the better it is for most teams. And at the moment, the Locomotive have played 5 games in 18 days, so I'm sure he's wanting those extra couple of days to get his team rested and ready for the playoffs. So they're hoping they don't have to play in that getting round, and they can host the game at home in front of their fans.
Of course, winding up the season at Los Angeles Galaxy 2, that is this Saturday night in Los Angeles, and that one is going to roll over for a goal kick. Jeffie, I think, trying for deflection. It didn't work. In that respect, it'll be 6 matches in 20 days for Locomotive FC to round out the regular season. But El Paso could be hosting a match on the 23rd or wind up with a higher seed. Playoff tickets are on sale. Get your playoff tickets as Kiesewetter taken down. No foul called. He's still on the ground right in front of the referee. Slow to get up, but get up he does. Horn still. Touch for El Paso. We take a look at this one on replay. Well, they were both wrapped up pretty well. And in the end, maybe the right call. Looked like a square dance move.
Yeah, looking like both players were were hooking and getting the arm caught. Not sure which way to really give that one, and the referee made the right decision there, just letting it go, then letting it play on.
Locomotive, though, with a throw-in. Rebellon, Gomez. Rebellon will earn Locomotive a corner off Hurtado. Ross will take this corner here. Entering the 66th minute. Ross drives one right into the middle of the box. Nothing but green jerseys there. Rebellon does a great job to keep it back. Ross into the box and another corner conceded. As Calixto puts it over the back line. Ross again. This time it'll be Kiffy. Kiffy with that left foot looking to swing one in. Far post. Punched away again, Jacob Leaker. Andrew Fox wants a foul. Will not get one. And a throw in. El Paso. Leaker has been everywhere. You see Chapa, Luis Chapa Herrera getting ready to come in. We understand for Jerome Kiesewetter, which would be an interesting move. A holding midfielder for one of Locomotive FC's attackers. Well, Mark Lowry was aggressive tonight. Josue Aron Gomez up front with Jerome Kiesewetter and Omar Salgado. He got his early reward. 2 goals in the first 24 minutes. But Locomotive has conceded one and perhaps just trying to settle things a bit. Oh, that one wound up just right. On for Gomez and in! Onside in for goal number 3, Josue Aron Gomez, and what a pass from Sebastian Velasquez.
What an incredible pass from Sebastian Contreras, just putting that right on the platter for Jose Aron Gomez, committing that defender. And Jose Aron Gomez, all he had to do was find the back of the net, just an easy slot, just around the goalkeeper, into the back of the net.
Almost like a penalty kick, and Leaker guessed wrong. 3-1 in the 68th minute. And the smoke pots are set off in section 105. Leaker, for all of his success, left exposed just one too many times. (3-1) Locomotive. And here comes Chapa Herrera. And certainly now, an even more understandable move in the 69th with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just to have another player in front of that back four, sitting there, breaking plays off, his energy, his work rate. It's the perfect time to bring him on with 20 minutes left in this game. He's going to do a lot of the dirty work in front of that back four.
And what a story from El Paso, Texas. Earned a spot in Locomotive FC's first round of open tryouts, got invited back for a second and then a third. Had been helping his brother in the family roofing business before that. Never thought he would get to be a professional soccer player. And Mark Lowry invited him over to Locomotive headquarters. Unbeknownst to Chapa, there was a contract waiting for him when he showed up with his family. One of 4 El Paso area players on this roster. Guillermo Memo Diaz getting his first start on the road last weekend, or a couple of weekends ago. But we've talked, of course, about the highly decorated Omar Salgado, Chapa Herrera, Guillermo Diaz. Josue Aron Gomez, of course, a part of this lineup from, you could almost say, Locomotive FC's sister squad, FC Juarez Bravos, part of the Mountain Star Sports Group. Same ownership. Chance from section 105. We want playoffs. As things stand right now, they'll get them. Here in minute 71, Seba Velasquez with a lot of time. He'll let the ball do some work for him, but missed on that pass to Gomez. United Soccer Leagues, though, you have to love the way this playoff race is shaped up, especially in the Western Conference. Things a little more settled on the Eastern side. But in the West, it's going to go down to the final day.
And I think for the neutral fan, it just keeps you more engaged. It makes things a bit more entertaining for a fan with a specific club. And having to go down to the wire to know whether your team is in the playoffs or not, that's got to be a bit nerve-wracking.
Yuma will be called for the foul. He disagrees. Making contact with Max Born still. Should be pointed out, I think, after the Locomotive goal, Gerardo Duran making his way onto the field. This is the kid. He is 15 years old from Hillsboro, Oregon, playing for Timbers 2 to finish things out in El Paso, Texas over these final 20 minutes or so. 5'5", 146 pounds from Hillsboro, Oregon. Another Oregon native is a part of this Timbers 2 lineup, and another homegrown player that Cameron Knowles and the Timbers front office wants to see get into some matches. It is an interesting mix, especially for those squads in the USL Championship affiliated with Major League Soccer teams. Do you play younger players? Is it a spot where you kind of store older guys? Well, the LA Galaxy 2 has utilized a kind of structure to great effect. They've had an excellent team. Los Dos they call Galaxy 2. They are in the playoff race.
I think some clubs use it to try to find a fine balance between the two. Can we use the championship to develop some of our younger players, but at the same time use it as sort of as a reserve league for those players that are right on the cusp of breaking into the first team, and then use it as a way to get game time and minutes for first team guys that are either coming back from injury or not playing as much as they would like. So it's just Just using it for different purposes for different teams.
Alvar Salgado using and abusing, right in, rolls one, and Leaker again on the stop. Omar Salgado just dangling his way through. And Dispe is going to have some nightmares tonight.
He does well to use his body to turn the corner and get into the box. You can tell he's desperate to get on the score sheet tonight. A great way to finish the regular season for him, scoring on the left.
He had Dispe dangling like a yo-yo halfway up the field. That was set up, though, by an excellent slide tackle by Locomotive's Defender of the Year candidate, Brian Rebellon. Deep in the Locomotive defensive third, too. Hurtado. Farfan. Good work by Hurtado to slide through. Keeps a hold of it. Back to Farfan. We hear another under 18 teenager is about ready to enter the lineup for Portland Timbers too. A 3-1 Locomotive lead, and it seems like Cameron Knowles just wants to get the players some experience at this point. Timbers 2 had to win out and have some help to have any hope of getting into the playoffs. And it will be Lorenzo Lopez, Oregon City, Oregon, 17 years old, in the 76th minute to replace Brian Hurtado. 15 years old, 17 years old, 19 years old. That's Calistro. He started the match. Harold Hansen's 20. And here comes Locomotive FC. And that'll be over the back line for a corner kick. As Dispe just tries to keep pace with Omar Salgado. Both of those have gone the full length of this one, 77 minutes in. But Salgado still showing he's got some desire to get forward.
Absolutely. Definitely wants to score tonight. He's pushing for that goal. A good sign for the Locomotive. You want your players eager and hungry at the right time. And
Andy Fox. Is it really a short corner? The touch deserts him, and Fox is upset with himself. Gives the signage a little what for. Had a good opportunity. But the touch gets away from the Huntington United Kingdom native. Coming to El Paso from Grimsby Town in League 2. Peterborough United, Stevenage, Grimsby Town, Swedish First Division with AFC Eskilstuna. He did play college soccer at St. Edward's University in Austin, where he met his wife. One of the more engaging players in this Locomotive lineup. Locomotive FC earlier this summer, you can check it on the Facebook page, did a series, they call it the Streetcar Soccer Series. Taking a ride on the El Paso streetcar, a couple of laps around, a good 20-30 minutes spent with some of the Locomotive players as there is a bit of a dangerous foul. And going into the book will be the 15-year-old Gerardo Duran in minute 78. Leaves a mark on Josue Aron Gomez.
And Duran recognizing that he's beat for pace. Just trying to do whatever he can to slow down Jose Aron Gomez.
15. He's like a high school sophomore. Possibly even a freshman, depending.
Not sure if he's a regular high school student, but if he is, that's got to be a cool story to tell. Hey, what happened to you on a Tuesday night? Or on Tuesday, you weren't in school. I just played a professional game.
True. No, it's a goal number 4 on the night. And it's Josue Aron Gomez with the brace. He's a little the worse for wear. He won't mind. No jumping onto the net to celebrate with 8th notch. But it is a 4-1 Locomotive lead.
That's a good goal from Jose Aaron Gomez. Just put himself in the right place at the right time. Again, it's Sebastian Velasquez creating stuff up that left side, feeding James Kiffey, who delivers a quality ball into the 6-yard box. And all Jose Aaron Gomez has to do is get a foot on it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Locomotive FC with its largest goal output of the season. 4 on the night, it's 4-1 in the 80th minute. And Locomotive FC stamping their spot in its inaugural season into the USL Championship playoffs. Safe enough to say that in minute 80.
Absolutely, they took care of business in the second half. They did a better job finishing their chances. They still missed quite a few. However, they finished the ones that they needed to get this 3-goal lead. And it looks like they're not stopping anytime soon.
Here's Salgado starting to the byline, and nowhere left to roam. Farfan does a good enough job squeezing the angles. And Alexi Bassetti about ready to make his way on for the final 9 minutes or so of this, plus stoppage time. Todd Wharton. Chiro and Toko hasn't had to be too busy in the second half.
Oh, they've done a great job of keeping the front players, attacking players of Portland 2 at bay.
Good touch from Duran. One-touch soccer up the right wing comes Timbers 2. Hansen. In to Sierakowski. It's deflected. Taken away by Velasquez, who has covered a lot of ground tonight, and he's got more. More green space in front of him up the left wing side. Salgado offside. Flag is up.
I'm not sure
Omar's
if that
having
was
none of it.
offside. It looked like Omar Salgado did a good job to hold his run up and keep himself behind the defender. I think the linesman might have gotten this one wrong.
We might be able to have a look, but hindsight's 2020. Mark Novosel on that touch line. Velasquez off for Alexi Bassetti in minute 82. Alexi Bassetti looks to be a part of what Mark Lowry wants to do in the future. He has been a frequent substitution with the playmaking midfielder who was on the pitch for Oklahoma City Energy FC in Locomotive's first match this March. First ever match. Coming over from OKC Energy a couple of months ago. And that bounces kindly for Locomotive FC. Courtesy of Chapter Herrera. Here is Salgado taken down. Mr. Damjanchuk goes to the back pocket, or to the front pocket, actually. It's Dispe. Booked in minute 83. Locomotive a dangerous free kick in the 83rd minute, and it will be Alexi Bassetti, newly onto the field, to take it. The Frenchman playing quite a bit in Ligue 1, has 2 goals for Locomotive this year, and he tries to go for goal, but up and over it goes. And another substitution for Timbers 2. Mitchell Ferguson in the 84th will replace Harold Hansen, who has done a lot of work, yeoman's work up that right wing all night long for T2.
Absolutely, he was more effective, more involved in the first half. However, so that's got to be credit to the Locomotive and how they dealt with the danger of Hansen in the second half.
Bounces nicely, Sierakowski. Good work by Rebellon to deny any opportunities there. And another teenager, of course, as we pointed out before the match, everybody on Timbers 2 bench is under 18. 18 or under. Mitchell Ferguson, 16 years old. That is crossed out of play for a Locomotive throw-in. So the three substitutions, Gerardo Duran, 15, Lorenzo Lopez, 17, Mitchell Ferguson, 16. Play the kids is what they say. Timbers 2 just trying to set themselves up as an organization. You can't say necessarily that they're looking for further things in the USL Championship. Of course, the league really taking a look at some of the MLS affiliated squads and where they might perhaps should be in the future of the United Soccer Leagues. Flag is up, offside. That playoff spot looking more and more assured as Locomotive FC will round out its home season in some style. 4 goals in a match for the first time this season. You're kidding me. We just got word that Richie Ryan is about to make his way into the match. The veteran Irishman, 34 years of age. Was it a hairline fracture in his ankle or around that region?
Yeah.
And they thought he was going to be done for the rest of the regular season.
Good to see him make his way back and really start getting some match fitness, some match.
We'll take a look at Richie Ryan here in a little bit. Right now, Chaparrera urged to get up by Mr. Demjanjuk. Locomotive keeping possession though, and here is Herrera again. Bassetti, Herrera. Ross off to the left. The fans starting the Ole chant for the completed passes. Yuma taken down. It will be a free kick for El Paso. And Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman, about ready to step onto the pitch. Let's take a look at how Richie Ryan went off the pitch in the first place, committing a foul against Orange County SC. Stress fracture on the left leg. After that, he helped the dude from Orange County get back up. Felt a little twinge after the match, and it turned out to be a broken bone. Just amazing.
When the adrenaline is pumping, you can't really feel those things until you settle down a little bit in the locker room and realize, hey, this doesn't feel normal. Like we said, it's great to see him back on the field, getting ready for the playoff push that the Locomotive are going to make. Playoff run, I should say.
That double pivot, the two number 6s in Yuma and Richie Ryan, that will do. Oh, how about this work? Up the left wing, Kiffy crossing to nobody. Sent down by Dispe, who's still working. That double pivot so important throughout much of the season for the way Mark Lowry wants to play his game, and to have his two veterans, the Spaniard and the Irishman, in that kind of dual number 6 role, has got to make the coach and his staff feel really good.
Absolutely. It just gives them so much balance on the defensive side with the numbers that they send forward, with the outside backs getting forward, and the likes of James Kiffey and Brian Rebellon to have balance.
Well done to Calixtro. Calixtro taken off. Good work by Chiro and Toko. Working for it, Alexei Bassetti. Not enough, Mitchell Ferguson. Dispe. Native of Cuba, 6'4", 485-pounder. He has done some work tonight. One of the senior leaders of this team at the age of 25.
I don't know.
You heard the word. It is out, and it's a goal kick for Logan Ketterer. All in all, though, as we are understanding, there will be 2 minutes of stoppage time coming up. A pretty solid second 45 for El Paso Locomotive FC, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. They finished their chances. They created so many in that first half. They should have gone into the half with more than a 1-goal lead. However, in the second half, they took care of business in front of goal. Even though Jacob Leaker stood on his head and made some terrific saves in that second half, they were able to get two additional goals, and finish out this game with a significant lead.
There is Bassetti looking for more. Kiffey. We'll let Timbers 2 steam on through for that. Nathan Smith doing the honors. Long ball out of the back all the way to Ketterer. Ketterer denied an opportunity for what would have been, at that point, his league-leading 13th shutout. It would have tied him with Zach Lubin and Matt Pickens of Nashville, who each have 13. Denied in the 25th minute, right after Locomotive had scored its second goal by an outstanding effort from Zach Kobayashi. Really outstanding team effort. Kobayashi just came up with the right ball in the right place at the right time. Split the screen and in it went. But a much more thorough second half as Ryan puts it into space for Salgado. Salgado in, looking for 5, and he's got it. No, he doesn't. Into the side netting, and Omar Salgado, from our vantage point, looked like that was in the back. That was hard enough. And it comes through, looking Calixtro, denied. And here's Ketterer. And that is pretty much going to do it. Ketterer rolls it back. The whistle is blown. It is party time for El Paso Locomotive FC, their 13th win of the season. The most goals they have scored in a match this season. 4-1 the final. Locomotive FC, in its inaugural year in the USL Championship, is headed to the playoffs. We take a look at the second half goals. Josue Aron Gomez. In the 68th minute, and then again in minute 79, Sebastian Velasquez, James Kiffey, Gomez, and it's a 4-1 Locomotive win.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park, a jubilant 8th notch with Locomotive FC firmly putting their foot in the USL Championship playoff door. A 4-1 win over Portland Timbers 2. Duke Keith and Michael Balogun. That was one heck of a second half by Mark Lowry's squad. After not a bad first half.
Yeah, they played well in the first half. They didn't dominate as we're used to them dominating on the possession side of things. They definitely did create a lot of goal scoring opportunities. However, that was the difference in the second half. They were able to score 2 goals and extend the lead in this game and really kill off any momentum that Portland 2 might have had coming out of out of halftime.
Players saluting the fans after a 4-1 thorough win here in El Paso, Texas. Of our crew here with Locomotive FC, we have certainly enjoyed bringing you the regular season. We'll see if we've got some playoff action to bring you. From Michael Balogun, I'm Duke Keith. For all of us here in El Paso, Texas. Again, your final score, Locomotive FC 4, Portland Timbers 2-1. Off to the playoffs for El Paso Locomotive FC. So long, everybody.